The boy deliberately provokes an artificial robot to the side. The robot grabbed the bowl and started eating. Neither of them yielded to the other. The mother rushes over and yells at him to stop. The next moment his face suddenly fell down. It turns out that he is a replica of a robot, and had the same emotions as a human. His mother sends him back to the field for restoration. The scientists removed his chip, and cleaned the residue from it. His mother was very worried. It turns out that the couple's child was in a permanent coma due to an illness. The medical conditions at the time made it impossible to treat, so the doctors recommended that the child be frozen first. They would treat it when the technology was advanced. The husband wanted his wife to come out of the coma, so he brought back a robot just like his son. At first, the mother couldn't accept the robot in front of her. She even put it in the wardrobe. But time passed. The mother began to accept her robot son. Her husband told her that once you activate him, he will only love you. If you don't want him anymore, you can send him to the factory for disposal. In the evening, the mother hesitated for a while. She decided to activate her robot son. The robot's eyes were no longer dull. Instead, he jumped right into his mother's arms. She also gave him his favorite toy. It was a robot bear, and she named him Kaya. That day, the doctor called her. "Your son Kyle has woken up." Kaya looked at him in disbelief. A boy just like him. When he returned, his mother held Kyle and told him a story, and deliberately made Mum Chang the puppet meet the Blue Fairy adult story, so as to steal his place at home. But this story did not anger Kyle. Instead, he listened with fascination. The next day Kyle told her that all she had to do was cut her mother's hair and put it on your body. Then Mummy will love you forever. At night, after her mother had fallen asleep, Kaya took the scissors and walked towards her. Suddenly Mum turned around and woke up scared by the scissors. Dad scolds Kaya for his behavior. The bear picks up the hair from the floor, so Mum took Kaya to be on the safe side. She took Kaya to the mandatory scrapyard, but turned around halfway. He drove into the woods. It was very hard for Kaya to face his mother's abandonment. Kaya promised his mother that he would never make a mistake again. Eventually, his mother abandoned him. Kaya remembered his mother's story about the Blue Fairy. He thought that if he found the Blue Fairy, then he could turn himself into a real person. On his wanderings, he meets a robot, Hagrid. When Hagrid learns that he wants to find the Blue Fairy, he takes him to a high-tech computer. Kaya asks the computer where the Blue Fairy is. The computer responds that he is at the edge of the world, a city flooded by the sea. So Hagrid took Kaya to his destination. Then they saw the city that the computer had told them about. Hoy's plane was parked on a high building, but Kaya found a million of himself here. Kaya was very angry. He picked up things and smashed them against his own replacements. He wanted to be his own unique self. Then the doctor who made Kaya came in and said, "It's true that you're not unique, but you are the only robot that has feelings." Kaya couldn't accept this. He felt that everyone was lying to him. He sat on the roof of a tall building. He shouted to the sky for his mother. He jumped into the sea, but at the bottom of the sea he saw the man he had been looking for. He told Hai that he had found the Blue Fairy at the bottom of the sea. Then a ship came along. It was going to take Hoy away to be scrapped. Hoy told him, "Don't forget me if you become human." He then helped Kaya to press the switch. Kaya took the submarine to the bottom of the sea. Here is an amusement park submerged in sea water. Here he saw the Blue Fairy. Then Kaya made a wish to the Blue Fairy. He wished that he could become a real person. Suddenly the Ferris wheel behind him fell down. It crushed Kaya underneath, and Kaya kept repeating the wish over and over again. The Blue Fairy didn't answer him, always with a smile on her face. Slowly Kaya over and over again. And so it went on for thousands of years. The human race was all but extinct. Artificial intelligence dominated the world. One day the intelligent man found Kaya in a submarine. He opened the cabin and woke Kaya up. Kaya approached the Blue Fairy in front of her, but the Blue Fairy was broken. Kaya was very disappointed. His dream had been shattered. Then the intelligent man approached Kaya, touching his head with his hand. Read all his memories, finding out that Kaya is a robot with emotions. To make Kaya happy, the intelligent man made a Blue Fairy for him. Kaya continued to make wishes to the Blue Fairy, that he could become a real person, to return to his mother and be with him. This time the Blue Fairy answered Kaya. If he wanted to see his mother, then he needed his DNA. It was very hard for Kaya to hear this. Where can he find his mother's DNA after 2000 years? Then the robot bear took out his mother's hair. Kaya handed the hair to the blue fairy. The blue fairy replied that because there was so little DNA, you can only revive your mother for 1 day. But Kaya was still very happy. Kaya walked over to her mother's bed. She couldn't believe that her mother had actually appeared. This day was the happiest day for Kaya, because she was the only one she had, and she had prepared a birthday cake for her. But the day would soon be over. Kaya fell asleep holding her mum's hand. The bear crawled into bed to watch over them. When mankind is all but extinct, when civilization is a thing of the past, only a tiny robot child, carrying on the mission of love, to carry on the soul of mankind. Kaya's program is love. When love is the only reason for his existence, this child cannot help but spend his life searching to make my mother love me, to make himself real. Such a simple wish, but it shines in Kaya's blue eyes. May all the love in the world not be disappointed. The film is called Artificial Intelligence. If you are interested, you can see the original film.